Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hammer Podcast. Today is February 15th, 2021, and I'm speaking with Josh. Josh went to the Agape Boys Ranch in Stockton, Missouri from 2009 to 2013, and he's here to share his story with us. So go ahead, Josh. The floor is yours. Go ahead and start with why you went there.
2009, I was 12 years old. I got sent there August 25th of 2009. I think the last straw for me was it was actually a little bit of gun violence. I put a gun in my dad's face after he tried to spank me, and I told him, "You're not gonna hit me no more." So police came and all that, went through the court system, and they basically said, "Well, we can put you in a detention program here. Your parents can send you away, but you're just not going to be at home just going crazy." So my parents, I guess, talked to people at their church. Somebody mentioned Agape, and I was there within like a week and a half after that incident, or 2 weeks after that incident.
Was this a Baptist church?
Nah,
No.
nah, it was actually a I don't even know. They're just Christians. They're just very not strict, they're strict, they're devout, but nothing crazy.
Right,
Really.
like a non-denominational or evangelical.
Yeah, something like that. I wouldn't even honestly know how to
Right.
explain it, but I mean, I grew up in church. I'm adopted out of St. Louis.
Well, Agape is independent fundamental Baptist. That's why I asked. So.
Yeah, and I've learned a lot about that from being there and learning that side of things.
Yeah.
I grew up in church, so I mean, the difference between normal church and Agape is night and day, dude. Like, it's crazy.
Oh, I'm sure.
Sure. Yeah, it's nuts.
So
it's nuts.
You get there to Agape. Your first day in, they shave your head. Did they shave your head?
Yeah, they shaved my head. It was funny because the I don't even know. He was not even the dean of staff. He was the program director, I guess you could say. He did my tour with my dad and my uncle. They were the ones that brought me there, and I was actually the one that told them that I wanted to stay. They gave me an option. My parents said, or my dad said, this is where we want you to be, but how you feel about it. And I said, well, in my mind, military boarding school, I already wanted to go to the military from a young age. They got a lot of outdoor activities. This sounds great. Like, I'm gonna make this a field day. And so, yeah, they literally gave me a decision, and I said, yeah, I want to stay here. They said, well, you're gonna stay here for a year at least. And I said, okay, sure, see you guys later. And that was that. And it was right down to the intake room, the padded palace. Got out of my regular clothes, right into the uniform, and I was with the guide within 20 or 30 minutes.
So how was the first couple of weeks?
It was rough. Being 12, there's just a lot of me not knowing what I had gotten myself into. From the tour standpoint, they just show you the outside of the program, which I don't even know if they do tours anymore, but they just show you the outside, the shell. And then once you get put in the program, it's like a whole different animal. I mean, I was 12 years old with, 16, 17, 18-year-olds, and didn't nobody care about me, didn't nobody care about my well-being or how I felt or anything like that, and I remember within like the first 2 days, I told my God, I was like, man, there's a lot of people cussing around here. I don't know if my parents really thought that this was what they said this was going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said, I grew up in church all my life. I was adopted by a white family, and I grew up not cussing. Smoking is bad, drinking is bad, all that. So when I got there and I seen all that, I said, "Whoa, like, this ain't for me." Like, I don't think my parents knew that this was all this and that. But
They were
I
drinking too?
mean, no, 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 no. It
Oh,
wasn't that they were drinking. That's just what my parents were against. You know what I
okay.
mean?
All right.
And just the stuff that was being talked about. 12 years old, I was a virgin. I'm learning about sex. I'm learning about drugs, weed, this and that from just students. Just talking, just mingling with them.
Right.
And I was like, man, like I don't know nothing about nothing. But I tried to fit in, tried to be cool, and I wasn't. I was 12 years old. So I kind of got, I was a big 12-year-old. I kind of got picked on a little bit. Um, I remember within my first like month of being there, um, I had gotten bored in school and doodled like with a paper clip or something on my pencil, just a plus mark and a
Yeah.
minus mark on my pencil. And the principal at the time had accused me of cheating and gave me like 10 packets, which were just, I think it was like a 12-page like pamphlet that you had to copy word for word, the whole thing. And it was long. And I just remember thinking, I was like, he accused me of cheating. I was like, I don't even know how to cheat at the school. Like, you're telling me I'm cheating. I'm telling you I'm not. I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Right.
And I had to stand up I think I did it for like 3 or 4 days. It took me that long. And that's all I did for school. I just did packets the whole time that everybody was in school standing up.
Were you against the wall?
I did get put on the wall quite a few times. Most of the time it was because my closet wasn't in order. So the dean of staff, brother Trainer, he used to walk the shower bay in the morning every single morning when they called attention. And if your closet wasn't perfect, he would just tell the captain, whoever your captain was, he'd be like, give him creeds. And we have to what creeds were they were the rules of how to keep your closet perfect. I think it was
Okay.
like 25 sentences, and you had to write all of those, and he'd give you 5 sets of 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, just depending on how bad your closet was. But if you had creeds and you didn't have them turned in within like 3 days or something like that, he would make you stand on the wall for all your meals. You lost all your privileges, couldn't do nothing. So that was a majority of the time what I was on the wall for. But I mean, I got put on the wall for no reason plenty of times. Like just staff members were just having a bad day, and boom, you're on the wall. It was that
Right.
simple. So
Okay. So, what else did you experience there? Did you see anybody get slammed on the floor, fights, that kind of
I
stuff?
seen I seen people get slammed. I did some of the slamming. Like, oh man, I'm trying to remember. One of my buddies, I can't even remember his name to be completely honest with you, but I remember I was standing in the shower bay and he smarted off to Brother Jackson. I think he smarted off, and I 13-year-old new to all this, 12, 13 years old. I seen Brother Jackson pick this dude up, boom, his head hit the ceiling. I promise you, on
Oh,
everything I love, his head hit the ceiling. And then he was down on the ground quicker than I knew. I was in shock. I said, "What? What's going on here?" I just, talking back. I had 3 of my buddies when I was a burgundy shirt. I had 3 of them just shut down. They stopped obeying, they stopped listening, all this and that. I've seen all 3 of them get slammed. I seen all 3 of them get dragged down to the intake room, except for one of them. One of them, my buddy Matt, he he actually started doing the whole refusing thing in the shower bay, and they had this real thin blue mat that was like they called them Browntown mats because that's what they slept on at night. Was instead of a mattress, they give you a little blue mat to sleep on the floor,
right.
and that was also the restraining pad for mobile restraints. And I seen them. They slammed him on a bench in the shower bay first, then dragged him down to the floor, restraining him on the tile floor, and then they called for a mat. So I
Jeez.
mean, it was honestly almost every single one of the restraints that I seen there was unnecessary. Kids were not out of control. It was just depending on the staff members, how their day was going. Really, I mean, you could have a staff member take their anger out on you for days, weeks, months. You know what I mean? And literally,
Yeah.
you're just under their thumb. You can't do good enough to get off punishment. You can't do bad enough to get kicked out. Like they control your whole life. They micromanage it, and they can do whatever they want, whenever they want, however they want to do it. And
Well,
man,
being that it's a religious organization, the state doesn't interfere with that kind of stuff. No
on God.
CPS is called or nothing like that because of their religious status. So,
I mean, I've seen CPS come in there, and I've been asked questions by CPS, but we were coached before we even went into the we were coached before we went into the meeting room up by the office. I remember because they called us into the phone room that used to be down in the dining hall, and they said, "Listen, Child Protective Services are here." They wanted to know about the specific time. I remember they wanted to know about a restraint that happened during a church service where a kid got dragged out of church down the stairs. You could hear him bouncing off each and every stair going down to the restraint room. I mean, we could hear him screaming while we were in church. And that was the time they came and they were asking me questions about it because I was one of the more trusted students. I'd been there for forever, whatever.
uh,
And I'm not gonna lie. To make my time easier, I went with the flow. So if you want me to say something, that's what I told them. They didn't have no staff members sitting in the room with us, but when we came out, or at least when I came out, they asked me exactly what I said, and I told them I was like, I didn't really see or hear much of anything. You know what I mean? And on me, now that I'm a little bit older, that was fucked up, but it was easier to just go with the flow and not buck because I already knew I was going to be there for a while. My
yeah.
parents told me they was like, we don't really have any intention of bringing you back. Um, so it was easier for me to just go with the flow. I got saved to make them get off my back. My guide was on my back for it. The staff members were on my back for it. So yeah, I got saved like 3 times.
Self
You know,
preservation. That's what it's called.
oh
Self.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
survival of the fittest.
Exactly.
And we did what we had to do. Um, but but yeah, man, like
Yeah. I mean, usually if they keep hounding you and hounding you and hounding you to get saved, I mean, they should know that it's probably not going to be genuine. You know.
well, they just lie to themselves and then they
Yeah.
just get off your back. It's just you say, yeah, okay, yeah, that's me. I'm gonna go up to the front or go to the back, say my little prayer to whatever staff member I like most because I would just wait until there was a staff member back there that I liked. You know what I mean?
Right.
And yeah, I go back there. Hey man, yeah, I think it's real this time. I think I'm just trying to get saved because there was a rumor that I wasn't saved.
Right.
So I'm back here again.
And not
Or
all.
the
Go
other
ahead.
thing was I'm rededicating my life to Jesus Christ. I did that twice in a year.
And not all the staff members were bad. You know what I mean? Some were actually there and genuinely wanted to help. You know what I mean?
I agree with that to an extent.
Yes. Well,
I feel like originally they might have came there with the intention of wanting to help, but then they get caught up in the bullshit really really
right.
quickly.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, there were a lot of good guys that I seen come through there that worked for that school. But
Yeah.
if you really felt for the guys that us as students, that if you felt for us, they would single them out, and them dudes didn't stay around for
Oh
very
yeah.
long.
Yeah. They either quit or they got fired. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And there's still at least one staff member I know of. The guy that does the equestrian program. Um, that dude, uh, that dude helped me out more than probably anybody else at that school. Um, there was a time where I didn't do any schoolwork for almost like a year and a half, 2 years. I told the principal, I said, I'm done. My parents aren't taking me home. You guys aren't gonna. There's nothing you guys can do that's gonna be worse than me just already being here. So I'm sleeping during school. I don't care. And they said okay. And for like a month and a half, 2 months, I slept underneath my desk in school. I didn't do a lick of school. And then they came in and they were like, hey, how you feel about working? And I said, I love working. I'll go outside and work all day instead of being inside cooped up under we called it the the fluorescent dungeon was the learning center. Um, I told them, yeah, I'll go outside and work, and they put me on the crew, and I made some better friends with some of the staff members or whatever. I learned how to work hard, but yeah, no, I definitely there were some good people there, but more bad than good, and
Oh,
the
I
bad
agree.
were all the old timers for
Yeah,
sure.
like Brian.
Yeah, like Brian.
Yeah,
I didn't really. I met him a couple of times, and he came off as a dick to me. So I never even like really Spoke to him. Um, but I remember. I don't remember what year it was, but I actually did some work on his house that was actually off the property. But they kind of kept it quiet. Like I didn't even really know who was moving in there or why we were working there. They had it as a work crew. Um, that went out there and we cleaned up this house. And it was trash, and then after that, we never went back to that house. That house was just back in the woods, hidden, and I remember I can't remember if it was Brother Sheldon or Brother Cleveland, but they told me that he moved into that house back there, but I never seen him like ever, unless it was like holidays or something.
yeah.
Um, but
Okay.
yeah, man. Yeah, it really messes me up how people can be so into religion, all this and that, and then you literally just stepping on kids for no reason in the name of Jesus. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? You got your knee into his face or into his back or into his ribs in the name of Jesus, bro. Oh man, that killed me.
yeah.
That killed me.
Inflicting pain. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's almost
it's almost like they got off to that shit.
sadistic.
It
Yeah,
was
they're almost
crazy.
sadistic. Yeah,
Yeah, man. And it's crazy. It didn't matter what I told my parents. My parents were like, "Oh, well, brother so and so, or brother so and so, or this person or that person." You know, they never said anything about any of this happening. They never, warned us or said this might happen. I said, "Well, it's happening." Like,
well, of course. If they if they did all that stuff in front of your parents, you wouldn't have been there, and they wouldn't have got their money. So
exactly. It was crazy. If there was a visit there, oh man, nobody was getting in trouble. You could do whatever you wanted to an extent.
yeah,
But if they were going to restrain you while there was people around that they didn't want, knowing what was going on, it was very quiet. It was very hush hush. It wasn't a lot of screaming or yelling. They would just squat up real quick, grab you, and take you out. But they wouldn't take you straight down to the restraint room. They would take you out the hallway, down by the gym, cut through the rec center, and then boom, you're in the padded palace. You know what I
right.
mean? They were slick with it. They knew what was
Oh
going on.
yeah, oh yeah.
They knew exactly what was going on.
They've been doing it for 30 years, man. They know
They
how to
have it
work the
down to a
angle.
science.
Oh yeah,
They have it down to a science.
oh yeah.
I mean,
That's
shoot, they
true.
started wearing earpieces with their radios when I was there, so that nobody could hear what was going on. They talking to their radios. It used to be we could hear everything, and then they all got earpieces and they started talking to each other. You can't hear what's going on. You can't hear why they're moving so and so here, and why they're moving this group of guys here or there. You
Right.
just never knew. They just got it, as technology just kept getting better and better. They just evolved with it, and they're very very sneaky people. I 100% agree with that.
Slippery
Super
eels,
sneaky.
man. Yep,
Yeah,
they
no, you ain't
sure
lying.
are. They sure
You
are.
ain't lying. You ain't lying.
So what else did you see? You see any? I mean, I know were the dorms in sections, or was it one big dorm where you
Okay,
slept?
so
Where you slept at?
yeah, we all had one big dorm. When I was
Okay.
there, we had double bunk beds. So the if you were a new guy, you slept on the top bunk, and then your guide would sleep underneath you because you're supposed to watch you at all times. Um, typically the people that the kids that weren't liked or weren't popular, man, you get a top bunk and you're assigned that bunk until you move closets. But then probably in 2011 so let me go back. When I was 12, when I first got there was about 180 guys there, 190 guys. Like it was jam packed. Like there was no room for nothing. And then they cut the student body down in volume, so we had like 120 to 130 people there in the dorm, and they cut the tops of the bunk beds off, and so they were all just single beds in the middle. In the outer edge, of the whole dorm was still bunk beds, and that
Okay.
was so that the nighttime staff could see all the way through the um, the dorm without having to look up and down and see who's moving around and doing what.
Right. Okay.
Um, and you know that was for safety and this and that and this and that. But I mean, they had the lights on the whole time while we were sleeping. Like we didn't sleep in the dark. We slept with lights on the whole time.
Yeah.
You know. Um, but yeah, it was jam packed shower bay. I mean, they did a lot of upgrades while I was there. Um, you know, from putting tile in on the shower bay floors and stuff like that. But I mean, dude, I remember I remember, man. Just let me talk about the shower bay. The shower bay was where everything got interesting because people were getting crazy at night times. Um, I seen more fights down there just over the fact that we can't speak to each other. We can't communicate at all. We're not supposed
Right.
to talk. In your first 3 days of being at Agape, you're allowed to talk, and you're only allowed to talk to staff members and your guide, and that's it. You don't speak to anybody else. Man, I've seen staff members jump kids for talking. I'm talking about slam their head into a wall, tell them push the ground. I'm saying what? Because he was talking, he was laughing. You know, it could be you took too long at a sink. They call 15 minutes till we have attention, or till we go to attention. And if you're not moving fast enough, and maybe tell staff member, 1 second, dude, I'm finishing brushing my teeth, or I'm getting my last drink of water, or I'm putting my bottom box away. Man, I've seen staff members. This dude, brother Croy, man, he used to get under my skin because he got into his head that he had power now, and he came up to me one time. My box was sitting on the bench with all my stuff in it. I mean, any type of toys or games or extra, clothes or whatever on my mail is all in my box. And dude just came over for no reason because I was running a little bit behind, and just picked it up, dumped it all out, went through my closet, started pulling everything out. He was like, "You're not on time, so you're gonna sit down here and do this until you get it right." Yada yada yada. I'm like, bro, like I've been here for 3 years. I have the respect of pretty much all the staff, and why are you doing this? Oh, push the ground. All right. Did my push-ups. Got back up, still started talking. Oh, do another 20. Okay, I'll do another 20. You want to go for a write-up? Sure, let's do that. Let's go before Brother Jackson, and we can argue our case. And that didn't work out for me. I still got put on no talking. But I mean, like I said, man, it's all about power there. You're freely allowed to go around and power trip. And
Sure.
the shower bay was where a lot of people got in trouble. You know, um,
Yeah.
the learning center, the new learning center was built while I was there. Um, Man, I went through
Wow.
two principals there. Uh, um, Brother Lance, Brother Altar. Um,
Did you
Never
ever
really had to get into.
did you ever end up in
What's up?
Brown? Did you ever end up in Browntown?
Yeah, one time. So this comes with the learning center. So, um, Brother Trainer, the dean of staff at the time, he made me the trash guy. And when he made me the trash guy, he made me trash guy for the whole school. So anywhere there was a trash can, I took it out. So long story short, me being 13, I started being, learning the ways of being a conniving little shit for, I ain't got no other way to say it. I started not stealing, I started taking the tests from the AC PACE test, and I would take them out of the trash because the office ladies would just throw the whole test away when they were done, filled out, and scored. And I would take them out of the trash, like shove them in my pants, tuck my shirt back in, and then go down to the dorm at night and put them in my bottom box. And that's what I used to kind of get a little bit of a foothold on popularity and being able to like survive, get stuff that I needed or that I wanted, socks, shoes,
Hustling. You
clothes.
you were hustling.
Yeah, exactly. I had my little business going. And this one dude, he was actually my first guide there, Hill. I got him I want to say it was like a physical science or a chemistry, or it was a stupid hard test to pass. And the test that I got him was passed with like an 89% by one of the smartest dudes at the school, this Asian kid, Peck, and he got an 89 on it. And I had scooped it up. I got it. He said he wanted it. We did our little trade. Boom. A week later, I think it was like a week or two later. Um, Brother Lance, man, he started tripping, and I hear him call Hill's name. I hear him call Peck's name, and my heart's thumping. I'm like, dude, if they snitch, I'm done. Well, nobody snitched. Peck was like, he was one of those kids. He was actually from Korea, I believe, or Vietnam or something. He didn't speak a lick of English. Like, could barely understand this dude whatsoever. Like, nothing he said really made sense. He was just smart, and I remember they just they were questioning Hill, questioning Peck, and then somehow, some way, it all got traced back to me.
To you.
So that's how I got put in Browntown. But Jackson said, "We're doing a search of the whole school. If you have anything, you should probably come up here and tell me now so I don't get mad later." So here I go, 13, 14 years old, walking up to him. I said, "Hey, man." He's like, "You got something for me?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's a lot." And he said, "Well, what is it?" And I was like, "It's in my bottom box, man. I don't even, like, I'm kind of like embarrassed. I'm scared. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like, I don't know what they're finna do to me." So he's like, "Nah, just tell me what it is." And I was like, "I probably got like 30, 40, 60 tests in my bottom box." He said, "Tests for what?" And I said, "For school." He said, "Like the PACE test?" I said, "Yeah." He said, he called over the principal, and I'm like, "Oh man, here we go." And so, anyways, yeah, they went down there, searched my box, came out with all these tests or whatever, and a bunch of people that I didn't mean to get in trouble got in trouble. They got reset in their whole grade. So PACE go
Oh,
from 1 to 12, number 1 to 12. It didn't matter if they were at 11. It didn't matter if they were 12. It didn't matter. I don't think if they were, even if they were done, if they could prove that they had cheated using me, they just reset them and made them take the whole course all over again. So yeah, so I got put in Brown for like 2 weeks. Um, it wasn't that bad because at the time, like I said, I've been hustling. I've been making friends. So my boy Lanfear actually was in the kitchen, so he would hook me up with food. He put sugar at the bottom of my bowl of Cheerios, so it wasn't so bad. Because I'm talking
right.
about the food they gave you at Browntown was ass, bro. Like,
Yeah,
like,
I've heard about the food at
like
Browntown.
I've never been to prison. I've been to jail. I've been to juvenile. Better food. Sometimes the food was better, but when you were in Brown, the food was ass. It was
Yeah.
terrible. It was horrible. But I mean, they put sugar on stuff for you. They try to slide you a little extra here and there or whatnot if they were cool with you. But if you didn't have nobody on your side in Brown, it was miserable, dude. It's horrible.
Right.
You walking around with shoes with no strings with the tongues cut out, so they just call what do they call them? Agape airs. They're
Aragapes.
just flopping behind you. Yeah, man.
Aragapes.
I mean, you work out, you read the Bible, you write the Bible. It's just like I've never had the Bible been used as a punishment before, dude. But like since I've left Agape, I've probably opened the Bible like 2 times. Not gonna fake it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
I hear you.
they did a great job in steering me in the right direction. You know what I mean? Going to
Right.
church 12 times a week. What? It's
Now,
crazy.
now, being what I know about the Baptist church, because I grew up in the Baptist church, independent.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
They're
how was
rough.
it? How was the racial issue? Because I know a lot of
Oh man.
independent
Oh
fundamental Baptists are Southern Baptists, so you know where I'm going with this. Southern Baptists are
yeah.
the
No.
worst.
100%. Yeah. No. 100%. Honestly, I'm mixed. I'm white and black. Um, I'm adopted by a white family. I acted very white, so I associated with a lot of white people. I never
Right.
really got attacked racially by staff. It was more the students actually that were like, "You need to pick a side, bro," and you look black, but you talk white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
nah, man, it was there was definitely there was definitely race cars being pulled there. You know, uh,
Definitely.
man, I would say probably the person I thought that was an undercover racist for the longest time was Brooke Cleveland. That dude would just he would say stuff to some, like, just some of the black kids, man. I was just like, why would you say that? Like, you make it sound like it's not bad, but I was just like, dude, he used to call this dude, I think his name was Winky. He used to call him a monkey all the time. And at first I thought he was playing, but then he told him, "Get over here, monkey." Like, he said it like aggressively one time when we was working.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell, dude? Like, you're not playing, bro. Like, there's some back history to this,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
and
Like I said,
you know,
growing up in the independent fundamental Baptists, being that I'm a Mexican, they
yeah, yeah.
Roloff. I don't know if you know who Lester Roloff is.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. Um, I was at his church in Texas. That's where I grew up.
Okay,
And
okay.
he would refer to Mexicans as lubricanos. Now, it's kind of a soft way of calling a Mexican a greaser, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
So they
yeah,
do it softly. They try to put like a soft tone on it so it doesn't sound as aggressive, you know. But it's
yeah.
definitely racist. You know what I mean? And
On
that's
me,
and
on
that's how
me.
they are. You know.
Yeah, no, you ain't lying. You ain't
Yeah.
lying.
You know. I mean,
I don't think that they were ever truly, really openly racist,
right.
but it was definitely like, man, it's just you just have to be in the student body to just understand. Like, you just pick up on little cues and things that,
Sure.
like, people will say. They change their demeanor. They do this. They do small things. You would never pick up on it if you're just standing from the outside. It just sounds like a normal conversation. But when you live with these people all day and you know the ins and outs of what be going on, man,
Definitely. Now,
it's just
it's not to say that all the Baptists are racist. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying particular ones, and you could just tell just by the way they act, the way they look at you. You know what I mean? Body language says a lot. You know what I mean? It speaks
most
volumes.
definitely,
Yeah.
most definitely,
So,
most
but
definitely.
for the most part, they were good. But were some exceptions. So,
Yeah, no, and yeah, there was definitely some exceptions. I just, yeah, man, like I said, I go with them, or if they wanted to come at me a certain type of way, I'd ignore it. I say, okay, you're having a bad day, dude, and I just chalk it up to that. But my homeboy next door would be like, bro, like, why would you let him say that to you, bro? That's racist as fuck,
yeah.
man. Let him be, bro. He's having a bad day. That's what I would always chalk it up as. I still do it to this day, man. I'm a little bit more hot headed now. I understand more, but like, if I can just let it go, man, that's just how I am. Because I'm like, bro, if I fight with you, especially at that school, if I fight with you, oh, it's going down. Actually,
Yeah.
one of the Clemenson's sons got into it with me during our, like, it wasn't Christmas Day, but it was around Christmas time, and ever since that day, man, he told me, he said, get your black ass down and do something. I can't remember what he told me to do. And
Wow.
I was like, I looked at him. I said, "What did you just say?" And he grabbed me by my shirt and tried to, like, pull me down. I'm 6'4", and I was about the same height when I was in school there. I just stood there, let it, like, literally, he almost ripped my shirt off my chest. I said, "What did you just say? You told me to get my black ass where, dude? Like, you're tripping." And that came from a Clemson. And I put my hand on the Bible when I say that. And you know what? To this day, I still, like, he be liking my pictures on Facebook. He like my pictures on Instagram or whatever. I don't speak to the dude. I lost respect for him instantly right there. And I used to be cool with him. I used to play basketball with him in the gym and stuff. He used to be cool, but ever since that day, he's married to somebody Hispanic. I was just like, bro, like, it gets to them. It gets to their head, bro. And I don't like that. I really,
Yep.
really don't like that.
And like you said, they figure it's on a power trip. They can say whatever they want, racist or not,
Whenever they
and
want.
they expect you
Yeah.
to just take it. You know what I mean? And just
Yeah.
be fine with it. And No, the anger builds up and builds up, and sooner or later,
They just snap, they pop off, say something dumb, and you know what? It doesn't even matter because nobody in the outside world's gonna ever hear that.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. Until now.
it's ridiculous. Yeah, yeah, for real,
So,
man. And this is just blown up, and it's a good thing, bro. Because like I've talked about this with so many people from school, out of school, my friends, my family, and people just don't believe what we be saying. You know, it's always but you remember how bad you were back then, dude? I was 12 years old. I had anger issues. In reality, if my parents were really, to me, I'm a parent now too. I got a baby girl. If my daughter acted how I was acting, that girl needs more love and affection. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. And my first option isn't just send my kid away. Now, granted, my situation was a little bit different. I had court involved, this and that.
right.
But man, just do some freaking research, dude. Like for real, research. Internet is
Right.
crazy. Like Google, it's amazing what you'll find. You know what I mean?
Well,
And
being
now that
being what you know now,
yeah,
like you were saying in your situation. Let's say, for instance, hypothetically, your daughter, when she grows up, does the same thing you did, puts a gun to your head.
yeah,
Okay. Now,
yeah,
courts get involved, whatever, and they say you have a choice, agape or juvenile. You know what I mean? Now that you
yeah.
know what you know, okay, put her in juvenile. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah. Well,
She might be
and
safer.
see, even if it was, take away the religious side of the boarding school. Say if it was, well, the courts want to put her in a military school, something that's very strict but non-religious per se,
Right.
or put her in juvenile, bro. She's gonna learn more from juvenile than she would a boot camp, a religious school,
Right.
somewhere that's gonna change her. Boy, this is the real world. Those people live in an imaginary world. They have their own campus, they have their own housing, they have everything is on site for them. They have a pantry that they can go to. It's stocked full of food. We have walk-in refrigerators, walk-in freezers. Everything. This is their own little community. It's their own little world. You
Yeah.
take a kid and you put them outside their comfort zone in the real world still. I learned more from being a juvenile than I learned from Agape. The only
Yeah.
thing I really learned and took out of Agape was how to beat a system.
Yeah.
That's literally all it was. It's how to survive outside of my comfort zone and beat the system at the same time.
It's like taking somebody from a culture and then putting them in a different culture. You know what I
You ain't
mean?
lying.
You
You ain't
have
lying.
to adapt, and sometimes people don't adapt to it. You know what I
You know what I
mean?
mean? And you know what? Sometimes you just need a swift kick in the ass to get your life straight.
Sure.
Because when I actually got out of Agape, I got arrested on 4 felonies. Two of them were gun charges, and I went to juvenile, and then my judge bumped it up to adult felony. So
Mm.
I sat in a jail for a while, and Agape was definitely worse. But to know that you could really ruin your whole life over being stupid in the outside world and what really goes on, man, that sobered me up real quick. You know what I mean? And that was when I was 16. I just got out of Agape. My parents didn't want to take me home, so they put me into a foster care system.
Mm.
And that's where I got my charges to get out of foster care. I figured, if I can be bad enough, they just gonna send me somewhere else, and I'll get out of that one too. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that was kind of the end of the road for me. They said my judge looked at me in my face and said, she read me my charges or whatever, and she says, "How does 30 years in Tallahassee sound with like a minimum
Oh
sentence of like
man.
7?" And I said, not good. And she was like, "Well, what do you want to do to like get yourself out of this?" And I was like, "I'll do whatever you want. You just let me know. Like, I'm willing.
Yeah.
I'm willing to work this out. I'll do whatever I got to do to get out of this." But you know,
And the thing is, not
like I
a,
feel like it's kind of like what you said earlier. There's some staff members that have good intentions there. I feel like some of Agape had good intentions, but they ruined it themselves.
yeah.
And by themselves, they turned a good thing into something so bad, so shitty.
And not a lot of judges will do that. Some of them will just throw the
Nah,
book at you and just sentence you. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So,
And
you
she
got
was definitely ready for that, but I
yeah.
apologize. I literally had to write a letter of apology to people that I robbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I'll do anything that you want me to do. She wrote out her little, her little bullshit and slid it to my lawyer. And my lawyer said, "You want to do all this?" I said, "Yeah." I didn't even look at it. I said, "Yeah, I'll do whatever she wants. I don't care." You know, and that's what steered me straight, dude. I haven't, I've gotten one speeding ticket, and that's it. I have no other run-ins with the law, like at all these
Yeah.
years. It
That's
wasn't from
good.
Agape. It wasn't from
Well,
Agape. Agape didn't sober me up. Nah, sitting in a jail cell for 3.5, 4 months. That's what sobered me up. It's crazy. I was there for almost 4 years, and 4 months compared to 4 years changed my whole life.
agape just makes you angry. You know what I mean? It makes
Very angry, bitter.
it bitter. Yes.
Yeah, I had a lot of anger, and actually, I'll tell you a story about this too. When I was in I used to clean the office as well when I did trash. And like I said, I got pretty trusted without being, a ranking captain or a sergeant major or anything like that. Um, I used to be able to cheat the mail system that they had in place, and I used to be able to send out letters to anybody I wanted to, and I would send out letters for kids that were there. I couldn't get anything back in, but I could send them out. And my parents actually brought me home after like 2.5 years of being at Agape, and then sent me back the next month because I kissed a girl. Literally, the only reason was because I kissed a girl. I was going to
Uh,
school. I was staying, doing my thing. Everything was great, but they found out that I kissed my actual, she wasn't even my girlfriend. It was just my first kiss. A girl, boom, sent me back.
oh.
Um, After about a year, they came and visited me after a year because I didn't speak to them for almost 9, 10 months, and they came and visited me. I told them, I said, nothing. I told my dad, I said, nothing here has changed. Nothing is gonna change. I'm the same person I was when I was 12 when you sent me here, from when you took me back, when you sent me back to now. There's nothing has changed. I've just gotten older, and honestly, I hate this place more. So he was like, I don't know what the whole point of this conversation is. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. That's the point of this conversation. I'm tired of it. Oh, well, you're not coming home, son. And then they left. So I wrote them it was like a 6-page letter, literally just screaming "fuck you," basically, and I sent them that. And the staff members loved the phone call that they got about that because my
Mm.
parents like faxed them the whole letter, page for
Oh.
page, and then I remember them coming into school and they called my name, shut the little office door, and I got screamed at for like 10 minutes. They were just like, "You're gonna tell us how you did this. You're gonna tell us why you did this. We want to know everything." And of course, I lied to him. Oh, so and so left the school, and I gave him the letter to send out for me.
Right.
I didn't snitch on my system, but you know, I honestly, once I explained myself, once they stopped yelling at me, and I explained myself to them, um, they kind of like understood like a little bit. I didn't even get put in brown for that. I think I just got knocked down like a shirt color or two shirt colors. Um, I just told him, I was like, dude, I've been here for 3 years. I'm tired. I do what I'm supposed to do every single day in and day out, day in and day out. I do the exact same thing. I have the same routine. I don't bump with anybody. Nobody has problems with me. I don't know why my parents won't take me home. Well, we don't know why your parents won't take you home either. Well, yeah, you do. You guys are making a ass load of money off all these people. You guys aren't telling them what we're really doing, what's going on. I
Yeah.
remember hearing phone calls with the staff members, and every time, dude would sit there on the phone and he would click his teeth. Well, he's not doing bad, but he's not doing great either. He's not excelling in his schoolwork. He's not, but he's focusing. He's doing this, he's doing that, blah blah blah. But then again, I haven't really seen any real change with him. That was literally almost every single
Right.
phone call I ever heard. And
A-
I sat close enough where I could hear that type of stuff all the time.
anything to keep the money flowing in, basically.
Yeah, honestly, like they're fundraisers. The bullshit ass fundraisers. Oh my lord, making us walk to raise money, dude, it's a joke. I don't understand how people got $100,000 RVs, cars out the ass, nice cars, mind you, real nice cars, stuff that I'll never be able to own because they're classics and they're expensive. Camels, fucking zebras, water buffalo, like and
Horses.
we need a fundraise. Bitch, sell the fucking zebra and pay for a new gym.
Yeah.
Sell the fucking camel and build your own fucking amphitheater. Dude, I had to help build that fucking amphitheater that's out there. Bruh, oh my lord.
Mm.
I just, man,
Yeah. They.
and I told my parents, I said, don't fucking donate to this place. Don't do it. Please don't.
Yeah.
Please don't. It doesn't, because the first two I participated in. And I had my, friends and family sending money in. And then I really sat down and actually my buddy Porter was talking to me about it. And he was like, bro, like, if you really think about it, our parents pay for the school. And then we asked them to give up more money for the school so that we can have a little bit more fun. But we're only allowed access when they want us to have access, and they have access whenever they want. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anybody that lived there, anybody that was friends of people that lived there, they could use any of those nice amenities that we were only limited to on the weekends, or if you got special privileges at night or something like
Right.
that. Like,
Right. They take the monthly tuition and then they ask for donations. I mean, just sucking every
right.
last cent out of the parents. You know what I mean? Anything.
and still
Anything.
have and still have money to buy their toys and their
Yeah.
pets and all that other shit. It blows my mind. It
Yeah.
blows my mind. I don't know. I don't know how they do it. I don't know. Like, I know why. Money changes people. Obviously, I feel like when they moved schools to Missouri and then they blew up and they got them big ass buildings built out there and then they just kept expanding and expanding. Like, man, I feel like every year they just add something new. I really sit there and I think, I'm like, dude, how do they have this money that just comes in just constantly?
Yeah.
I'm a hustler. I hustle for everything I got, but they on a whole nother type of time. They
Well,
got
of
something
course,
big going on. I
you
don't know
have
what it
you
is.
have their church as well with their church members, and they probably tie 10% of their income plus
And
donations from
that,
other sponsors and everything. That just money just rolls in.
yeah, but I don't even believe that because I know a lot of the people that went to church there and they're all broke. So yeah, they might be tithing 10%, but I've also seen that offering play. That offering play, it's not all that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah, they are bringing money in off the community a little bit, but like, still, it has to be the fundraiser. It has to be the parents. They charge people different amounts for tuition. They'll give out scholarships. They'll do this. They'll do that. I mean, right before my grandfather just passed away this last year, and before he died, I had actually a conversation with my aunt. Because I was talking to her about when I got sent there. I was like, man, what happened? Like, while I was gone, like, what was Grandpa saying? Because I knew my grandpa had put a lot of money towards the school, like me going there. And she was like, after you got back and you told him the things you told him, he didn't want to speak to your dad for a while. He didn't want to speak to your mom for a while because he was upset because he felt like he wasted a lot of his money, his retirement money
Right.
on sending you to a school where you literally just sat there and did nothing. Like, yeah, you had some fun, you did the rodeo, you played on the basketball team, you did this, you did that. But I literally told my grandpa, I said, man, that school didn't change me. I changed me. My parents could have left me out of there. And you know what? Maybe I would be a little bit different, but I run my own life. I govern myself. No, there's not a single person out here that will tell me how to do things, outside, I work, blah, blah, blah. But it, nobody's going to tell me what to do. And it's going to just make me want to change. Even religion, God, all that. That's on yourself to do that. But when you got people pressuring you and telling you, "Oh, you're going straight to hell. You want to burn forever? You want to be in pain for forever?" No. Well, then get saved. Oh, it's that easy. It's that easy. Okay. Like,
Yeah.
you would almost think that they would make money off of every time some kid got saved there. You know what I mean? Like, every time a kid gets saved, the dollar gets put into the offering plate. Boop. It was crazy. It's like every
Wow.
Sunday somebody else was getting saved. It was wild. It was wild. And then to find out all these years later that the staff were more heathen than us. The
Oh
staff,
yeah.
the staff. Oh man. Whew.
Oh, to
I
be
don't even know if
a
I want to be
fly
doing all
to
that.
be a fly on the wall in some of those houses, some of them staff members. A lot of debauchery was going on. I can almost guarantee that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Definitely some weird shit. There was definitely a lot of weird shit. There was, and I found out more after I left it. Like I said, I was in my own lane at that school. Like, just didn't even pay it no mind. It was happening right in front of my face, and I didn't even. I just, hey man, yeah,
you
I
know,
heard something about that,
so I mean,
but
if somebody told me that one of the Clemenson boys liked to put on his wife's underwear and sit in the mirror, I'm like, it wouldn't
I
surprise
believe
me.
that shit
It
right.
wouldn't surprise me
Oh
at all.
yeah,
I'll be like,
I
okay,
believe
well,
that shit right now. Yeah, I know you're not lying.
you
You're
know,
not lying. Like, I mean,
just
yeah, nah, you're not lying. There's no, there's like, they want to call us liars. They want to call us bad kids, all this and that, bro. There's so much hidden bullshit that be going on at this school. Now, I can't speak about it for now because I haven't been there forever. But back in the day, there was a lot of stuff that was going on behind the scenes that they would try to keep hidden. But staff members getting divorced. I think they try to make it seem like they got the perfect little life. Everybody coming here on Sunday with their suit and tie and all nice. Nah, bro. I mean,
yeah,
I'm not going. I'm not. I mean, everybody knows from the community, the student body community. But I mean, you got staff members' wives that have cheated on their husbands in there, and then you got other people that are coming up, popping up with records, people stealing and stuff. I said, what from that school? Oh, that's interesting. It's interesting, but the truth always comes out in reality. So it was a matter of time before all this stuff started spewing out. And I remember back in the day when I first got out. I like I said, I try to tell people about it. I really, really did. I told people about people getting slammed. There was a kid, Gonzalez. He mixed like Germex and vanilla extract or something together, and got really fucked up. And I can't. He didn't actually. He wasn't there too long after his restraint, but I slept on the bed next to him, and they restrained him literally for hours. I don't remember an exact time limit, but to me it seemed like all day. I didn't see the dude all day. I thought he was at the hospital, but he wasn't. He was being restrained. Dude came
wow,
in, arms covered, bruises, back of his neck, bruises,
bruises.
his legs, bruises. I said, Gonzalez. I whispered to him in the dorm. I said, Gonzalez, like, what the hell happened, bro? Dude couldn't even speak to me. And then come to find out, he got real messed up off this little drink that he made. They ended up restraining him. Didn't realize he was that messed up, and because he started acting out because of whatever he mixed together and drank, and didn't realize that he drank anything. Restrained him literally till this dude's legs were jello, his arms were jello. Like, dude could. They literally dragged him into the dorm, and he was on a top bunk. I helped him get into his bed because the dude could not. He could not like help himself basically.
Yeah,
And
wow,
I just said, what happened? He just shook his head. He couldn't even talk to me, and not. I don't even think it was like a week later. He was just gone. He just disappeared. And I guess he got sent home or sent to another program or something. He's in jail right now, I believe. But I never got to talk to him about that. But that was the hands down the worst restraint I've ever seen on anybody. I mean, the dude was covered head to toe in bruises, scratches,
bruises.
like, and like I said, I never really seen anybody get restrained there for actually like being violent per se towards a staff member. I seen him, student fights happen all the time, but like towards a staff member, I'm sure he was fighting or whatnot. But like, at what point does there was easily 400-pound plus dudes that worked at that school during the time I was there. At what point does that much pressure need to be applied to a child? You know what I
Right.
mean? And that's anybody. If you under seven, if you under 18, you a child to me. I'm sorry, that's just how that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no, like I said, I've been in juvenile. I've seen kids get dragged out of their cells with less force than this. And you know what they do to them? They stick them in a containment cell by themselves.
Yeah.
Huh. I wonder why that doesn't work at Agape. You know what I mean? Like, It's crazy,
Well,
but
like
it's
you,
like you said, it's that separation of church and state.
yep,
You have no regulations.
and they loved and they loved,
Valentine's Day,
yeah,
Valentine's Day just passed, right?
right,
Every year on Valentine's Day, the Missouri Highway Patrol, I believe, and Cedar County police officers would come and watch the student body while all the staff, couples, men and wives, whatever, went and ate their like real nice dinner on the fourth floor. If everybody, if you were a trusted staff or not trusted staff, a trusted student by the owner's wife, ma'am, you got to serve the
oh,
staff members and their wives and
what a
stuff.
privilege.
Oh yeah, it was a super privilege. It was a super privilege. And you know what? The
Yeah,
reason that we like doing that type of stuff is because we felt seen by everybody. You know what I mean? Oh, we're the good kids, you know?
right.
We get to, we get to be up here with y'all instead of down with the student body in the gym being watched over by police officers. Them police officers was standing there. I was in there 2 years before I started serving the actual dinner when it happened. And then the last 2 years I got to serve with ma'am.
Yeah,
We would talk to the police officers. We would talk to all of them, as many as would talk to us. Some of them wouldn't even speak to us, but the ones that were cool or whatever, they would talk. And they would ask us questions about the school and whatnot. And we would tell them, like, yeah, they'll beat your ass in here. And that's funny. I'm like, yeah, no,
mm,
dead ass. They will beat your ass in here. You know, um, they just don't take it serious. I remember kids running away, call the police. Police would drag them right back. You could tell the police officer whatever you wanted to. You blew in the face. It didn't matter. You just ran away from a school. That's all they cared about.
yeah,
They're just taking you back, turn you over, and they roll out. And guess what? Now you're getting restrained. I mean, it's just restraint was literally the it was like the go to. You if you do something, you get out. You piss somebody off.
right.
They can make your life hell in so many different ways. But
Well,
that restraint was
I'll
no
tell you one
joke. That was
thing.
one of their favorites.
It's a good thing I wasn't serving
One of
because
their favorites.
I probably would have spit right in their food. But that's just me. So, but there, Josh. Oh,
No.
breaking up a little bit.
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah,
Okay, my bad.
that's
I
right.
think my internet cutting in
That's okay.
and out.
Well, Josh, let's go ahead and thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Telling
sure,
telling
for
your
sure.
story, that was pretty compelling. And like I said, I mean, every guy that I've talked to who's gone to Agape, the stories are similar, but they're also very different. If you know what I mean. You know,
Oh yeah, oh
every
yeah,
one it's a new piece. A new piece of the puzzle, and the picture is coming out. So, and
yeah. And like I said, with time, the truth will come out.
yes,
And
and
I
this
think I think people are gonna be pretty shocked when they see like that that face that appears out of the clouds because it's gonna be nasty.
and
It's
this
gonna be
the
nasty.
state is noticing. The state is getting involved now. So, hopefully, maybe we can get some regulations there. I mean,
It's
it's
a nah. Honestly, excuse my language, but fuck the regulations. They need to shut that shit the fuck down.
that's
Honestly,
true. But
like I said,
yeah, I agree. I agree. But sometimes you know how the government is. We get what we take. I mean, we get what we give. I mean, we have to be happy with what they give us. Basically, I
I
mean,
mean,
for
you're
now,
not lying.
for now.
You're not lying.
Sooner or later, I'm sure. But the thing is, there are 21 other states that have no regulations on these types of schools.
Yep.
So Agape, if let's say Agape does get shut down, when they could easily just pack up, go to another state under a different name, maybe, and start the process all over again. You
But
know,
I think the biggest difference is that the size of this school is huge. You got all these other schools that are getting shut down. These are very small schools. They're running houses and very small little compounds.
right?
We're talking about a 200-acre ranch. If that gets shut down, oh man, now you're talking about why how did they get so big? How did they get so much money to do all this and that and do this and that?
Yep.
man, it's gonna be big.
Hopefully,
I really feel like after this, they aren't gonna be switching those states, man.
oh,
I really feel like if we push this far enough, heads will roll, man, and they need to.
get some
I mean,
prison
this is
time.
years of abuse.
Yeah, prison
Yeah,
time. Yeah,
or at least put their name on a registry or something, man, because you're just letting these people walk around. You know, these people are in the community, and everybody loves them. They think that they're doing such a great job, housing all these kids.
yeah,
Nah, man, that's a mini prison. That's what that is.
yeah,
It's a miniature prison for children. For children. It's sick.
yeah,
It's sick. But I mean, that with all the bad, in my life, like I said, I do my own thing. I change my own ways. I got a baby now. She turns 1 on Friday, actually. Um, I got a good job. I can't complain, man. I really, really can't complain. So it's
yeah.
like, through all that bullshit that happened at Agape, man. Yeah, I talk to the guys from Agape every once in a while here and there. Man, we all just say the same thing, bro. We gotta just keep it pushing. You gotta keep it moving, man. Because if we got set in that, if we get stuck in that mindset of just the institutionalization of it, man, that shit would eat people up, man. And
Oh
I've
yeah,
seen it eat dudes up from Agape, man. And I talked to them. Just they
yeah.
have so much hate still built up inside, and I just like, man, you gotta let that shit go and just move on with your life, you know.
That's
Ain't
true.
nobody forcing you to talk to these people or talk about them or nothing, but man, that shit, it gives you PTSD, man. Like I've had dreams about Agape,
Yeah,
and it will mess you up, but you can't let that shit get to you like that, man. It was for a season. We're out of that season, and now here we are talking about all the bullshit that happened there, man.
yeah. That's
It's
true.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
come a long way, man. From people going on national television and stuff, man. It's awesome. I love seeing it. I love seeing it. Everything that you and James are doing, man. Phenomenal, dude. I watch all these podcasts, bro. I love it, man. Y'all just need to keep
cool.
doing what y'all doing, bro. Because that's all. This is what we need, man. Y'all getting us all hype. That's the only reason I'm on here, man. I did not want to get on this and do this, but so my boys was telling me, they was like, "Nah, you need to get on there, bro, because you got some stories where you can tell people
Yeah.
about what really happened there, bro." And that's just what I'm here to do, man.
All right. Well, we thank you for it, Josh. Um,
Always, my man.
all right. Stay on the line for a few seconds. I'm going to end the podcast. Okay.
I got you. I got
All
you.
right. I want to thank everybody for watching. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. The channel is growing. It helps support us. And like I said, once again, if you want to be on the podcast, I have my number on top of the channel page. Just give that a text and we'll set you up. Okay. So for the Hammer Podcast, I'm Jason. You take care of yourself. Take care of each other. We'll see you next time.